All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, as you can see on the screen here, we've got some green-black Perona action lined up for you today. That's right, we will be featuring some green-black Perona Thriller Bark Pirates type of deck today, showing off a cool idea that the community came up with, or someone in the community came up with when I was streaming earlier this week. They mentioned a combination of cards we're going to be looking at today that I think could be potentially pretty good, and we'll talk more about that as we get into today's video. But we do have a pretty chill video lined up for today. This will not be a super long one. We only got 3 games to go over on the sim, and but we do have a pretty good amount of stuff to talk about, and there might be some potential in this deck list, guys. I want to know what y'all think in the comments section below, so please do not hesitate to give me some ideas down there. So, real quick, let me go ahead and lay out the video. First things first, we're going to check out the deck list. We're going to hop over to the sim and see what we're running and talk about some of the ideas going on. And then from there, we're going to head over to the sim. We've got 3 games on the sim. Okay, we've got a game versus Purple Yellow Croc, Green Purple Doffy, and Blackbeard. Okay, we got 3 pretty cool games lined up. And then after that, we will check out the deck list one more time. I will give you guys my final thoughts on it, and we'll wrap things up in that way. Okay? I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and things like that in the comments section below. Please do not hesitate to ask any questions or give any feedback or whatever down in the comments section, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. Now, real quick before we dive into this, tomorrow will be the 15th of February. So, first of all, happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Right, guys? Happy Valentine's Day. But tomorrow will be the 15th, which means we will be doing a market watch video for tomorrow's video at the time we're recording this one, right? And then one more thing I want to mention is I am trying to do a little off-topic stream on Saturdays. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we do a stream every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday now on the channel on YouTube from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. Be sure to stop by for those where we talk about a lot of One Piece. We do some play testing. We have a lot of fun like that. But on the weekends now, I'm trying to do one stream every weekend, just a totally random stream where we play other games, more of a chill night, laid back. We'll play some Marvel Rivals or some League of Legends or Valorant, whatever we want to get into for the night. You know what I mean? So I should be doing that tomorrow night, just to give people a heads up who might want to stop by and have fun and, you know, all that good stuff. Now, let's hop into this, guys. Let's hop into this video. I will have everything time-stamped, like I already said. Let's go ahead and check out the deck list and see what we're going to be getting into today. Ta-da! Okay, no, here we go. Excuse me, but here's what we're messing around with today. We got some green-black Perona, and notice what we're running. That is the stage. Yes, this is a Thriller Bark version with the stage of, you know, green-black Perona. There's 2 major things I want to draw to your attention. Most of this stuff has been out. Now, I will say this. In OP09, we got access to this new Perona and this Gecko Moria. And for a while on the sim, this Gecko Moria was not working for me. So I was not able to do any testing with this card on the sim for quite some time. But it is working now. And so, and this card is also, you know, it was already pretty good anyway. So with that in mind, excuse me, with that in mind, this character, I'm going to read what it does. Actually, we'll read the leader first, then we'll move over to this character. So let me not skip anything. Hang on one second, guys. This is the leader we're running today. It's a 5,000 power, 4-life, dual color leader for green and black. And it is a Thriller Bark Pirates type. And check this out, guys. It is a dual color leader with 2 different effects. You have to choose one of the 2. Activate main once per turn. Choose one of the following effects. You can either rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less, or up to one of your opponent's characters gets -1 cost during this turn. So the green effect is resting down to 4 or less. The black effect is minusing the cost of a character for the turn. So it's a very solid leader effect here, and this is kind of what I wish they had done when they decided to nerf blue-black Sakazuki. I actually wish this is the route they chose to go, where they had done it, you know, where it's like choose one. And the choices would be -1 cost for the turn, just like Perona. And then the blue effect could have been draw 1 card, put 1 card on the bottom of your deck or something like that. Just a nice little cycle effect. And I know some people are saying that might have been too strong, but you guys get my point. So anyway, back to this deck. This leader effect is actually kind of decent into the meta if you think about it. I don't have the greatest amount of results to go over today. You know, I don't have a huge amount of, matchups to go over today. But if you think about it, this rests down a 4-cost or lower character. So into Blue Doffy, we're going to have plenty of targets to rest down and attack into. They might be able to save them, or maybe they think they can save them. They waste a card, and then we still pop the card, right? So we do have a very solid interaction here and here with Ryuma, which can pop a 4 less rested character on play and on KO. But also, another thing is this, into Blackbeard. You might be thinking like, okay, well, what about into some of the other decks in the format other than Blue Doflamingo? Well, Blackbeard, they have a very important 4-cost character that cannot be KO'd by effects. Do y'all know who I'm talking about? That's right, Burgess. With this leader, we're going to be able to tap down a Burgess and just smash into it if we need to. So it gives us some pretty decent options. Excuse me. So that's the leader. Now, the other card I want to talk about, everything else is pretty straightforward. We'll talk about Perona, and then we'll talk about Gecko, and then we'll talk about Stussy, though. Because these 3 cards are what we need to draw some attention to. So this Perona, some people might not know what it is. This card is actually incredible. It's a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 2K counter. This is not a 1K counter, guys. This is a 2K counter. And then listen to the effect. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 Thriller Bark Pirates type card or a Dracula Mihawk and put it into your hand. Then, place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order, and then discard 1 card from your hand. So it is just cycling, but it's doing a top 5 cycle, so it's very strong in that way, right? We get to look at 5 cards at the top of our deck, pick the card we want, and then trash a card from our hand. But because we're running the stage, and lots of 2-cost and lower targets to bring back, like Sindri, Perona, Inupe, Kumasi, and Cerberus, this has a lot of targets we can pull back. And we also have Captain John as well. We'll talk about that a little bit in a minute because not many people are running this. So this Perona is actually just incredible. It's a 2K counter and it's a searcher. So and we can recycle it over and over and over again with Thriller Bark, the stage. Now, the other cards we need to look at, before we go on to Stussy, because I have a lot to talk about here, guys. I'm sure a lot of people are putting the pieces together. But then we have to talk about Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria is a 4-cost 5K, not the 8-cost, right? This is the 4-cost. The 4-cost 5K Gecko Moria from OP09. It has an on-play to play up to 1 character card with the Thriller Bark Pirates type and a cost of 2 or less from your trash rested. Well, okay, if we need to flood the board, we now have a way that we can do that by going Gecko Moria into Gecko Moria plus a 2-cost or lower, and then this Gecko Moria will cheat out another 2-cost or lower. So it's actually very, very strong in that way. Even just early on, you can play out Inupes or trash them or whatever and pull them back with Gecko Morias or the stage. It has a lot of ways to fill up the board constantly over and over and over again. So with that in mind, guys, let's go ahead and move over to Stussy now. Stussy is actually something that I did not come up with. I read it in the chat. Someone was like, oh yeah, Green Black Perona with Stussy is just incredibly powerful. And I was like, okay, it sounds like it's okay. And then I started thinking about like, well, wait a minute. Okay, even if they try to remove my characters every turn, on a 10-Dawn turn, I can actually play out Thriller Bark, or use the stage rather, activate this and, throw out a 2-cost or lower Thriller Bark character. And then I can pop that character with my Stussy to pop their character, right? Now, understand how Stussy works, right? It does not KO the character, so you will not get a Inupe on KO effect. However, if you use the Thriller Bark stage, you will get the on-play effect from Inupe, and then you can trash the card and then use Stussy's effect. So it is actually just a very, very strong card in this deck, and even playing it out on curve on your 9-Dawn turn, you should be able to just slam this down and pop one of your 1-cost characters you don't care about. Very, very powerful effect here. A 9-cost 9K. It's just a good card. And then we also have 8-cost 9K Gecko Moria, because why not? We're literally running Thriller Bark, you guys. If anyone's allowed to run Gecko Moria without feeling bad about it, it is, of course, Perona. Not saying anyone should feel bad about running Gecko Moria. Chill. It was just a joke. But yeah. So now, real quick, before we dive into these games, I do want to mention, let me show Captain John real quick. He's a 2-cost, 3,000 power, 1K counter. On play, trash 2 cards from the top of your deck and give a character -1 cost for the turn, one of your opponent's characters. Real quick, there's like 3 or 4 cards I do at least want to talk about that are not in here that we should probably try to work in the future. Notice this list, guys. This is not fully formed out. It needs help. It needs some adjusting. It needs some fine-tuning. We're not running Absalom, but we probably should, right? So Absalom is not in the list, which that is a card we probably want to consider running at maybe a 2 or a 3 of. I think we don't need as many because we're running Ryuma, but it would be nice to have like this as like a 2 or 3 of in the deck. That's number 1. Number 2 is, hang on, there we go, Ice Age. Ice Age is just simply a good card. We can combo this with our Ryumas if needed. In fact, we could just combo it with our Perona to tap down characters. Like, there are a lot of things we could do with Ice Age, and in this deck, we probably wouldn't need any more than a 2 of, because we are running Stussy. Okay, we are running the Stussies, so it would be nice, though. It would still be nice, guys, if we could go on a, let's just say it's a 9 Dawn turn. We could go, okay, -5 to the cost of a character, and if it's 4 or less, we can rest it down with Perona, and then play out the Gecko Moria with the remaining 8 Dawn, cheating out a Ryuma, and then some other card like a Nupe, Perona, Sindri, whatever we need. Maybe even a blocker. We could play this active and this rested. You know, there are options there, right? But the point is, this will increase our range on some cards that we would like to be able to hit, right? What else? In fact, if we combo an Ice Age and the leader effect to tap down stuff with Ryuma to pop, we can even use, on a 10 Dawn turn, we can go Ice Age, use Thriller Bark to cheat out a Captain John from our trash. So that will be -5, -6 altogether, you know, -1 more. And there we go. So now we can hit anything that's a 10 or less. So that is very relevant. This does open up a lot of options for us. Next up, I want to talk about another card that my buddy Mike brought to my attention, is this card, Samurai. You can be my Samurai. This is actually a great idea for the deck, and one thing I noticed is I was running low on card draw when we were playing, or like when I was just testing the deck on the sim, and it's like, whoa, you know, this card would actually be insane. He was like, hey, why don't you try this out? I think Mike's right about that one. We need to try this out. Okay, this is probably going to be a for sure include going forward, and I'll try to talk about this more towards the end of the video. Okay, so there's Samurai, and then I have one more that I want to go over. It is a card that I consider now for every single green deck, for all of them, for all the green decks, Electrical Luna. Electrical Luna is just incredible. We can actually tap down cards, period, like with our leader effect, and then we can just keep the whole board tapped if it gets to that point where we just have a bunch of cards tapped on the board and like tap down one of their only blockers or something. And then all of a sudden, okay, Electrical Luna, we just get to attack and however we want to, and that's a 3 Dawn investment and a leader effect potentially, right? Or say they have an 8 cost character, maybe they have an 8 cost Gecko Moria down and they swung with it last turn. Okay, well, let's do -1 to the cost of it. Now we're gonna lock that down and every other character you have on the field. So this is the kind of, you know, effect that is just, it's just really good. It's just a really good effect. So this is another one we need to really, really consider. Now, there are some cards that I did consider, but I decided to go against because I just don't think they're quite what we're trying to do. And it is it's actually not 9 cost, it's a 10 cost, Doflamingo. I don't know if we can run this. I don't know if we have enough room and if it really fits what we're trying to do with this list. In fact, let me say this. I think you kind of have a choice. Do you like Stussy better with what we're doing here by playing out all the little characters, or do you like Doflamingo better? It's going to come down to your discretion. Who knows? Maybe we run 4 Moria, 4 Stussy, and 2 Doflamingo, or swap it around, 4 Doflamingo, 2 Stussy, 4 Gecko. There's a lot of different options we have. That's something we need to keep in mind when we're building this deck out and trying to figure out how to run it. Okay? Now, with that in mind, let's go ahead and hop into some games. If I missed a card you think could be really good in here, please say something down in the comment section below. Okay? Now, let's do this, guys. Let's get into some games on the sim. So first up here, we have a game versus Purple Yellow Nico Robin. And this is a, gosh, the camera's going crazy on me, guys. Hang on. There we go. Good enough. This is a leader that is very strong right now. Talking about Purple Yellow Nico Robin. Volumes off, speeds on 2x. Here we go. But at the same time, with us being able to tap their stuff down and put down a blocker every turn as soon as we get one into our trash, that gives us a lot of options. So there we go, guys. Did y'all see what was in the trash? Let me go back real quick. So play this out, play, and pause. This is what we got in our trash from playing out our Sindri. We are going first, by the way. We play, and I think we do want to go first, typically speaking, with this deck, just to mention that. But going second is actually very good as well, so we can play out our 4-cost Ryuma right on curve. Now, with that in mind, though, check out what's in our trash. We have Captain John to do -1 cost of characters if we need to. We have a Nupe to draw 2 trash 2, and then the rest doesn't matter as much. Okay, so here we go. So they go turn 1 pass. They didn't do anything. We're going to swing in for 5 here, it looks like. Actually, it looks like we might swing in for 6. Yeah, swing in for 6. They're going to give us a 2K, play out the stage, play out the Anupe To draw 2, trash 2, we trash the Captain John, and then I think we're going to trash maybe the, I think I should trash the, yeah, the Hog back here. I like the Perona as well, even though it's a 2K counter. Well, here we go. We can actually use it right now. So we decided to take that, and it was a Perona on top of our life, so that was kind of the best of all worlds there. We get to keep the 2K counter, and we get to recycle the 2K counter searcher and recycle what we need there. We're going to swing in for 5. We're going to pop the Jaguar D-Saw with our leader effect, you know, tapping it down, popping it with Ryuma. And they're going to play out an Eco Robin to get rid of the top card of our life. And that's less than ideal. But we're still fine. We're still completely fine here, guys. We've got 7 Dawn left, or 7 Dawn for the turn. We're going to swing for 5. We're probably going to swing for, probably just swing for, what, 6 and 6. And then we can just use our, actually, swing for 6. Swing for 5, swing for 6. I can't talk today, guys. Bear with me. We can play out the Ryuma, and then we can also use our stage to do some searching. Oh, the Gecko Moria is interesting. It allows us to do some very cool stuff. Now we're going to play out the Hog back. Honestly, we should play out the Hog back to just search up a 2K counter, to be honest. Okay, we are going to do that. Excuse me. We had to trash a card with the Perona effect. We trashed the Ryuma. We're going to grab back a 2K counter, and we're going to pass the turn. Because if they have something like a Rush Ace here, we have to be very careful. Here comes a 5K Banish, probably going at face. So now we need a 2K counter out of this, and now we're pretty safe for the turn. We can't really lose in this situation, even if they have a Rush Sanji or something. Like, now we can't lose. In fact, if they had a Rush Sanji, they should have played that out first, because they could have swung 7 3 times. They smash in, they get rid of the Ryuma, that's fine. We can't KO anything. We're going to play out, or I don't know what I missed something. We did some type of, oh, was that a draw 2, trash 2 effect? Hang on one second, guys. Okay, let me go back. Yeah, okay, so they swing 6 into a new pay. We're going to do a draw 2, trash 2. We're going to trash the Gecko Moria, if I remember correctly, yeah. And they're going to play out 10 cost Kaido Linlin. Seems good. Anyone who follows the channel knows that I'm not a big fan of Kaido and Linlin. That card may or may not have wrecked me a few times. We're going to swing for 5. Let's see what they get. They get a Miss All Sunday. Whoops. Okay, I don't like that because we had something else in mind here. Another trigger. Okay, at least it was just a draw 2 trash 1. That's fine. I just didn't want them to get any more bodies because we might lose. So now for 9 Dawn. Watch that. I could. Well, guys, I was loading up Dawn. How funny is it? I could have actually popped the Kaido Linlin, but I decided, you know what? I'm just going to swing for 11. What are the chances they have it? They would need 5. So their leader's at 5. So with all 2Ks, they'd go to 7, 9, 11, and then a 1K counter. So they would have needed 3 2Ks and a 1K or better to get out of that. With all 4 cards in their hand, they only had a single 2K counter. So we were actually going to swing all the way in there, but at the same time, I kind of wish I had just used Stussy to pop that Kaido and Linlin and go about things that way. But that's okay. Good game to my opponent. They left a little bit early. I guess they saw the writing on the wall there, and they just left. Okay, that was a fun one. We could have been way more aggressive there, guys, to be fair. We probably should have gone like 7s at life and just gone about it that way. But hey, we got there either way. Now, so that was the first game against Crocodile. Next up, we got a game versus Green-Purple Doflamingo. Okay, Green-Purple Doffy. Remember, guys, I featured this one on the channel yesterday. Green-Purple Doffy using a Straw Hat list. I think the list we're going to be seeing here today was actually more of a traditional list, though, with the Birdcage. Excuse me. I believe this version has Birdcage we're going to be seeing today. I could be wrong about that. Okay, swing in for 8. Yeah, we're going to just go ahead and take that, you know, and then we're going to play out another Anupe. We are desperately searching for the stage. We're about to, so we've done draw, so pause. So guys, that's some of the searcher power we have with the Perona, the Anupe, and the Victoria Sindri. So Sindri can do top 5 mil. Anupe does draw 2, trash 2. That new Perona does a top 5 search and trashes one of the cards from our hand. So we had a lot of ways to get what we needed there. So right here, guys, we're going to go ahead and play out the Perona. We grab the Thriller Bark here. We have to trash a card from hand with the effect. We'll swing in for 5, and then we'll slam down a Thriller Bark. Okay, our hand's looking pretty good right now. And with, you know, all things considered, our hand's looking very good. And we have a Cerberus in the trash. That's literally all we need. They're going to swing in for 6 here. I think I should counter out pretty aggressively, get the Sindri in the trash so we can recycle it with Thriller Bark if we need to. Oh, they're going to play out Pika, and oh, that was nice, because that was another card we were searching for. That was a card we were about to search for, guys. So pause. If we could not have gotten that exact play right there off the top of our deck, we were going to use Thriller Bark to search up a Perona if we had that in there. You know, just anything we could to get that Pika off the board, right? That was definitely going to be our play there if we could do that. So it looks like, well, actually, we probably couldn't have even done that, guys, because did you see what was in our hand? Well, I guess we could have with Sindri and Hog backed it back to get it, you know, to try to deal with it later. They're going to play out Sugar, less than ideal. They're going to swing in for 5. I think we're going to give them a 1K here. And they're going to play out Birdcage. Very nice. So right here, we're going to tap down the Sugar, and we're swinging 2 into that thing. They stand it up with a Spider Web. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and play out a character for the turn from our Thriller Bark effect. Actually, we might play out the Gecko Moria. Just kidding. We might play out the Gecko Moria first over the Ryuma so we can reuse that. And then we will go ahead and replace it with probably the Perona. Yeah, I need to get that. I need to keep Perona in my trash as much as possible, guys, so I can do all the searching I want to do. So they're going to use their effect first here because, pause. What happened there with the timing? So when we played out a card, we played out a character card, so that was waiting for its turn for our character card to do its thing, right? So we had a character card that came into play, and on play, and there, when you know, opponent's turn, once per turn effect, however it's worded on Sugar, our on play effect resolved first, and simultaneously their Sugar effect is trying to happen, right? It's at the same exact timing, okay, guys? So what's going to happen is our Gecko Moria is going to play out 2 characters with on play effects, but that goes down into a second layer under the Gecko Moria. The Sugar will then activate their effect to rest down one of my characters, and then our on-play effects can resolve from there, and we go ahead and pop, you know, use the Ryuma to pop the Sugar and go about things that way, okay? Hopefully that made sense. If you have any questions, guys, please say something in the comment section below. That is a very technical ruling there on like timing and things like that. Okay, and sometimes I think the sim is pretty accurate with most of these guys, so if you ever have any questions on that, if the sim did something weird, the sim is typically pretty much accurate, but there's probably a few situations where it's not 100%. You know, things happen. Because I think there was even a situation similar to that with the layering, with, you know, with the way the effects stack down in, like, layers. With, let me pause. He's swinging 12 and a 9. That was a perfect attack there. I can't get out. I have exactly too little to get out of that. If we could have saved that, I'm sure our opponent would have just left on the spot. But hear me out. There's a few things I've noticed in the past. I think there was one interaction with Garp where it was like a Gecko Moria was able to play out the card, and that opened up, you know, the 2 layers under that for the on-play effects that came down, where I think I was able to play out a Rebecca from the Gecko Moria and a 2-cost Brook. So with that in mind, I was that opens up a whole nother layer window with the Rebecca, right? I activated the Brook first, which should have put 2 Dawn on my leader, opening up the layer that the Rebecca characters on play effect will come in with as well. Very confusing, I know. And then with the Rebecca, I grabbed a Brook to play that card out, and I should have been able to choose right then between the activation effect on the Brook and the leader, right? And it didn't work at the time, but it might work now. I'm not sure. You guys tell me. Maybe I'm going crazy here. Maybe that was way too technical of an example, but I think it should have worked where the Brook was able to put the 2 on first and then use the effect of the you know, of the leader to -2 to the cost, and then use the the other Brook that came down. Even the 2 cards have the same name with the 2 different Brooks, making it super confusing to be able to pop a 3 cost or lower. All right, anyway, hopefully that made sense, guys. If not, just say something in the either on Discord or down in the comment section. He gets rid of my card. He leaves 2 Dawn active. He clearly has something going on there with the stage. Or excuse me, with the event there. He's probably trying to pop something. We're going to play out the Perona, do some searching, fix what we need. It'd be nice to get another Gecko Moria. What did I find in that search, guys? Hang on one second. I would like to see what I saw in the search. 2 Stussies in there I could not grab with the Perona. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. That's okay. We're going to swing in for 5 and try to get some cards out of hand. And he has 2 Dawn active. What is he going to do with this? Okay, he chose to do nothing there. I'm going to swing in for 8 more. Takes that. I'm going to play out the other Ryuma. I'm playing around the 10-cost Doflamingo. That is the idea here, is I'm playing around the Doflamingo. If he has a 4-cost blocker or a 5-cost blocker, it doesn't matter, because I have a Captain John to drop the cost down of the character by 1, and I can tap it with my leader effect. So there's nothing that they can do to block her up here, because I don't think they play any 6-cost or higher blockers. Well, they play 2 blockers. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. So now we're going to have to do things. We're going to have to see how we can make this work. We're going to do a Nupe here to draw some cards. Okay, very, very nice. This is a good situation for us to get the Stussy for next turn. Let's see what happens here. Honestly, I think what I should do here is tap down one of these characters. but we'll see what happens. I can also swing hyper aggressively into the leader. They're going to 2K, 1K. I actually like just going in for, go swing 8, swing 9 here. Swing 8 with the Ryuma, swing 9 with my leader, and then use the stage. So here we go. They're going to have to use a some type of counter on this. Maybe block and use a two-cost event. They didn't have one. Use the stage. And now we can actually just cheat out of Cerberus. And now that's actually a threat going forward. Guys, that Cerberus, yeah, look at this. My opponent has to go for the Cerberus. They have to. And now I did tap out completely, which will, yeah, perfect opportunity to drop down the 10 cost. But guys, we actually have an answer for that in our hand with Stussy. We are going to play out a Cerberus here, I think, or maybe a Searcher. We can do Kumasi, we can do the Cerberus. We have a lot of options. Play out the Stussy, popping the Anupe, popping that card, and your turn. Right? We are in a very, very strong position, guys. This is the deck. The further the game goes on, the stronger the deck ends up being, I feel like, because we're just getting constant value from the Thriller Bark stage, the Thriller Bark stage. Okay, they're going to go 9 into 5 here, unfortunately, or into 6. And I cannot pop the blocker there because it was a 5 cost. We're coming in for 9. We're coming in for the Kumasi here. Kumasi is going to be coming in for this much, 9 into 5. And then I was just going to load everything on my leader. Or if he was able to get out of that with some type of event, which would have been fine with me, or if he had to use the blocker, I don't actually think I would have gone for lethal because I had 4, 8. Well, no. I probably should have gone for lethal no matter what then. If he does not somehow get out of this attack from hand and he has to use his blocker, then with only 2 cards in hand, swinging for 13 means even if he has double 2 cost 4K, he can only get to 13. So that would have been lethal for sure. But if not, we had a follow-up play with Gecko Moria, which was very nice. We were in a good position that game to do whatever we wanted. Okay, all right, here we go. Let's go ahead and go to the next one here. We got one more game, and it's against Blackbeard. This one's against Blackbeard, guys. So this is definitely a super, very relevant matchup, right? Blackbeard, I think, is a very relevant matchup, and I think we do have the tools needed to battle against Blackbeard or Marshall D. Teach, but I don't think it's going to be a pushover. I don't think it's just going to be easy, but think about it, guys. Every card they play early on, tap down, attack. Oh, they play down a Lafitte. We'll tap it down and attack it. Unless it's already tapped down, then we can just attack it. And we can keep cheating out these little tiny characters from our trash with the Thriller Bark to attack into the small stuff. Excuse me, while keeping pressure on our opponent. Okay, they did not use the leader effect this early. They only have 4 cards in hand. We're going to swing for 5, of course. We're going to play out the Anupe. We're going to trash the other Anupe and trash maybe the Captain John or a Cerberus. Play out the other Anupe with our stage to draw 2, trash 2 more. Trash 2 of these little 2-cost cards. Because remember, guys, whatever's in our trash, we're bringing back. For one Dawn, we're bringing back 2-cost characters. I actually hope that this is the direction they choose to go forward with Thriller Bark. Give us lots of 2 costs and lower support of cards we can just keep pulling back from the trash with Thriller Bark, with the Thriller Bark stage and that 4-cost Gecko. Really cool stuff, guys. It's actually very fun to play. Okay, they are going to use the leader effect, but watch this, guys. Tap down your Burgess 10 into 6. That's gone. That's gone, guys. We dealt with that very easily because of our leader's effect. Our leader can tap down Burgess every single turn, guys. Every turn it can. Okay, let's see what they choose to do next. The volume's off. Let me make sure the speed's on 2x. Yeah, we're good to go. They're going to trash the Shigan Finger Pistol to cycle out with the stage. They're going to swing for 5. We are going to 2K counter out semi-aggressively here because I want that card in my trash to reuse it. They're going to play out Kuzan, which is very annoying. Watch this, guys. They did use Black Hole, so I'm going to cheat out the Captain John, even though I can't give it a -1. I wish I could, but I cannot rest him down. But I'd rather cheat out the Captain John because it has almost no relevance. But Cerberus would have also been a very good effect to have there, or another good card to cheat out. Okay, going to play out the Ryuma here just because that's just my biggest card in hand, and it doesn't have a counter, so why not get the 4-cost 6K on the board? Okay, let's see what they choose to do here. Do they want to attack into my Captain John? Maybe. It might be a good idea, because otherwise it is a 2-cost 3K. Right, a 3K body, I attach 2 Dawn, and I'm getting a card out of your hand or out of your life. That's very, very relevant, right? They're going to swing in for 5 here. Okay, we should just... I think we should have 1K countered out. That was far too greedy in my personal opinion. They're going to play out a Burgess, use out the Kuzan, play out another Burgess. So, guys, we're getting... we're getting a real good try out of this leader in this matchup Tap down the Burgess. I don't care. We're going everything in here. I'm going to leave. I think I should. Let's see what I choose to do here. I'm going to go 10 into 7. I'm saying I hope he doesn't have a 2K, 1K. Right? Because a 2K, 1K I think actually would have got him out of that. Because he'd have gone +2 and then +2. Because he'd have had the cards in his trash from the, that goes with the Burgess effect. So here we go. We are going to do some type of effect here. We're going to put down the Cerberus this time. And now he pretty much has to attack Cerberus. He basically has to. Now watch this, guys. We got an interesting turn here. I'm going to let that card go. And they're on a 10 Dawn turn. They're on a 10 Dawn turn. Okay? Let's see what they choose to do here. This one's very interesting if I remember correctly. I think they're about to slam down a Blackbeard. Yeah, a 10 cost Martial D Teach, nullify my leader effect for their turn. It doesn't do it doesn't hurt us on our turn. And look what card we just ripped. And oh, what's this? Oh, what's this, guys? Oh, they forgot to use their leader effect. Or maybe they didn't forget. They just have 3 cards they don't want to get rid of. Well, whatever the case is, they are about to get absolutely punished. Let me explain how this turn was going to go if I did not get Stussy, just so we know. I was actually going to swing 15 into the Burgess. Now, if he had a 2K, 2K, 1K, sure, he could, or a 2K, 2K rather, he could have gotten out of it. But it was a risk I had to take, right? I had to try it. But he did not use his leader effect, and watch this. Okay, Stussy, trashing the Anupe, pop that card. And now we're going to use the effect here, pulling out a Cerberus. We're swinging for 5 into face. They'll probably take this. Very smart. They get a trigger. They're going to do a top search. And I think they got a Kuzan with that trigger. Playing out another Martial D Teach. That is super, super frustrating. They're going to trash the Kuzan to activate their leader effect. They're not going to forget this time, right? Use the stage. They're going to swing 5 into 2. They can have that, of course. They can have that. They can have that card. We're going to go into, 2K, 2K to get out of it because I was hoping to be able to bait them into attacking into my body there. Right, Pauls? Oh, real quick, guys, hang on. I want to show you guys what just happened there. So why did I counter out of this attack? So to counter out of this attack cost a 2K, 2K. His Burgess is a 9K. So here's my logic on it. And I guess he could remove the blocker in the future, but still, it was the play that I wanted to do there because I was not going to get out of the 9K attack in the face. But if he went 9K into my Cerberus, it's like I got out of a 9K attack for 2 2K counters. Because look at this. He swings 5 into 2. I give him 2 2Ks, and watch what he does. Arguably, whoops, it's not moving. There we go. Arguably, he should have gone into Cerberus. To be completely honest, guys, I think he should have gone into Cerberus. I get out of it, and now he can get out of that. Instead, he goes for face. Well, we take that and draw a card. Okay? So that was the idea there. That was the logic. We are going to swing 14 into 9 and hope for the best. If he has a 2K, 1K with Teach, we're pretty much just done. I don't know if there's anything we can do. Well, there's probably something we can do, but they let it go. They did not have it. Now we're playing out another Cerberus. Now they have to remove Cerberus and go for lethal next turn, and it would probably go through, right? Because we don't have much counter power. We have 3K in counter and 1 life. Okay, they're going to do some searching here. They are clearly searching for something. There goes a Chicane Finger Pistol. I bet they wish they could have grabbed that, because then they could have gone, okay, pay 4, pop your Cerberus. They'd have 5 Dawn left, swing 10, swing 12. They'd have won the game off of that. 5 into 2. Now they're going to have to, now they're just in a world of trouble, guys. They are in so much trouble. But watch what they do. They do the worst thing possible and play out Lafitte. I remember this game. They play out Lafitte. Pause. What's the mistake here, guys? What is the mistake here? We have lethal on board. We have lethal on the board, right? We can swing for 5 with the Nupe, okay? We can then swing for 7 with Cerberus, and then the rest, what would that? That'd be, I guess we could have gone 3. We could have done it the other way around. Y'all get the point, though. So it would have been 3 plus 4 is 7. So we can actually go 5, 7, 8, 9. Now, here's the thing. If they got double 2K counter, they technically could get out of it. However, I'm willing to take the chance. I'm just going to say you're not getting a double 2K counter from your life. I'm just saying it. You're not getting it, right? It is what it is. If they get it, they get it. And if they don't, they don't. And the only other thing that could save them right here is if they get a trigger from life that pops one of my characters. Swing for 5. It goes through. We're going for 7. Yep. This one will go through no matter what, right? This one will go through literally no matter what. And then we will go in for 8, and then we'll go in for 9. This is the only one that's in question. If they got a double 2K counter from life, That's the only way they can win the game here. It is the only circumstance in which they can win this game. Okay? Because right here, if they have it, they'd be able to 2K counter out, and then they could block with Marshall D. Teach for the 9K attack. Pause. It was a 1K. Is that what that was, guys? Hang on. They had a... Oh, it's not moving. There it goes. They had a swing for 9, 1K. They did not quite have it. Good game to my opponent. Very close game. I think they played very well. But at the end there, it was just simply too greedy to play out these cards. Now, their logic was, okay, I have a blocker on the board, so that's going to stop one attack. I have a life, that's going to stop the other attack. And then what? Right? Then what are they going to do? But you still should not overextend like that. I think playing out the Lafitte would have actually been the best idea here. Search up a 2K counter and then slam down a Burgess. So then when I see you have a 2K counter and I don't know what your other card is, well, now you're actually going to be able to make me try to go next game or next turn against you. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm, of course, going to go for something like a, Gecko Moria playing out some kind of blocker. I'm going to do my best to win the game still. However, it changes everything, right? It becomes very, very complicated in that way. Again, good game to my opponent there. That was a fun one. Well, that's it, guys. Like I said, I only had 3 games ready for us today because now I just need to start making revisions. I'm really considering going up the Doflamingo over the Stussy, but I also really like how Stussy with the stage is just so clean. Again, I got that idea from the community, so big shout out to the stream. It was during one of my live streams. Guys, I do this Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and someone in there mentioned it, and I thought, man, what a great idea using the Thriller Bark stage in conjunction with Stussy. I can just play out a Perona, fix my hand a little bit while filling up my trash, and then just pop this card with Stussy and go about my business. Okay, it's very, very strong. It has a lot of potential. But with that in mind, the number one thing that I do want to add to the deck as soon as possible is actually You Can Be My Samurai, or something I just saw out of the corner of my eye that just popped in my head, is maybe some Odyssey cards, guys. I know they're not super searchable for what we're doing, and I don't want to change the deck too much. But guys, hear me out. I have a lot of rested characters at all times. If I just go like, okay, play out Thriller Bark and swing with one character, I have 2 rested characters on the stage now, or on the field now, right? So there might be an idea to try out a card, well, like Doflamingo here, but no, Usopp, if you have 2 or more rested characters, draw 2, then discard 2. That's a 4-cost card I could play out with Gecko Moria later in the game, potentially, and it has a 1K counter. And then there's also the idea of this new Enel card. If I have 2 or more rested characters, I can draw 3 trash 2. I'm building up my trash. There might be something to this. Again, like I said, this just came to me. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. There's some potential there. Now, some people might be thinking, like, why aren't you using the new Perona that's coming out in OP10? Quite frankly, guys, honestly, I just don't think it's that good. It's a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1K counter card, character card that has your turn once per turn. When a character is rested by one of your effects, set up to one of your Dawn is active. Like, sure, I guess if you combo this with something like You Can Be My Samurai. Whoops. I can't even spell. Oh, Samurai. I have it as Samurai, guys. That's funny. All right, Samurai here. That costs 1 Dawn and it rests my character, so that should like make it free, right? Unless I read that incorrectly. But it's gonna let you draw 2 cards. I think this needs to go in immediately. This is the first immediate change I would add. Probably drop down these hogbacks, maybe down to 2 or 1 hogback. Let's go up to 3 Samurais real quick. Drop down 1 Stussy. Actually, hang on. Maybe not. Maybe drop down a Captain John. Go up this. Let me go the Stussy. I like having this card, guys. I'm not going to lie. And sometimes we do search over it, so I think we do need 4 of them if we're going to keep it in the deck. We don't necessarily need it. But I will say this. Maybe another option we can do is dropping Stussy for Ice Age. Right? We can actually just go up for Ice Age in the place of it, and then we can get more value from Ryuma. And then at that point, maybe... I don't think we might not even need Hogback at all in this deck, like in the Perona version of this deck. And maybe we drop down another Captain John, and then we can actually go up the Absalom. Like maybe go up to 2 Absaloms. We'll be able to pull this back later with Gecko Moria. It does offer it is kind of nice getting this early game as well. In worst case scenario, we just trash it, right? We can do some major searching with Perona, with the Sindri, searching through our deck to get it back later with Gecko Moria. It has a lot of options. I do like having the Captain John in here, though. Maybe as more than this. Maybe I actually can drop this Gecko Moria down. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Let me cook. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, we can grab 2 more of these. because this card was nice, but it was a little more like we didn't need a lot of them, maybe just 1 or 2 a game. We just need like 1 a game, actually, to be honest. And then we can pull it back later with Gecko Moria if we have to flood the board. But this Captain John card is actually very nice because it fills up our trash, and it's a -1 cost, and we can combo it with cards like Absalom or even Ryuma later in the game. Say they have a rested 6 cost character. That's a pretty safe character typically, right? Well, we can play out... use our leader effect. Say their character's already rested. -1 with our leader effect. Play out Gecko Moria, pulling out Captain John and Ryuma. Use Captain John's effect first to -1 to the cost, trashing the top 2, and then popping it with Ryuma. So that opens up a lot of possibilities there as well. And yeah, these are the first main changes I'd like to maybe mess around with in the deck. I do still like the idea of Stussy. I think it has some potential, but Ice Age might just be more practical, and it's a 1 cost way we can deal with cards later with Absalom. Because with our leader, we can go -1 to your character, -5 to your character, pop a 2 or less. That's popping a 8 cost card just by going -1 with leader, -5 with Ice Age, and it pops a 2 or less with Absalom. And then if we combo that with the Captain John from the stage or something, that could get out of control quickly. Or if we have enough Dawn, if we can combo it somehow with Perona, it opens up a lot of possibilities where we can pop almost anything. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, we can, right? If they have 5 or more cards in hand on a 9 Dawn turn, we can actually just go, okay, -3 with Perona, right? -5 with Ice Age. That's now a 2 cost target if it was a 10 cost target. Well, then we could just pop it with Absalom. We don't have to use our leader's effect. That's just incredible, right? So that Perona is -3 if they have 5 or more cards in hand, and then Ice Age is -5. This already pops a 2 or less, right? So that there is something to that. There might be something there, and just saying that out loud, guys, makes me actually want to maybe go up 1 more Absalom. That was actually a very, very strong potential effect there, and some people are probably saying, yeah, why wouldn't you run that anyway? And hey, maybe we should. Now, let me go back to Thriller Bark. I do think we have a few other options. I like this card, Negative Hollow, but I don't know if we necessarily need it. I don't think it fits in this version of the deck. There is a new card coming out in OP10 as well that was actually kind of good, but I think this will be better in Gecko Moria, not so much in Perona. This is another 4-cost 6K black Ryuma that has Dawn ×1. This character gains double attack. So this is a great card, but I don't think it's quite what we're trying to do in this list. It's better in Gecko Moria because, pause and read this card if you don't know what it does, guys. I can just keep playing this card over and over again from my trash. So with the leader effect, I can get away with some crazy stuff. Another card to consider, unfortunately this is a 3-cost card, so it has 0 synergy with our stage. But this card right here, Hilden, it's a 3-cost, 3,000 power, 2K counter coming out in EB02, Thriller Bark Pirates type. It has on-play trash 2 cards from the top of your deck, and then give up to one of your opponent's characters -1 cost during this turn. Guys, I really wish they had made this card into at least a -2, right? I mean, I would prefer it be a -3 cost, to be honest with you, but I wish this was at least a trash 2 and then do a -2, because at -1, I don't know why we would play this card. It's a 3-cost -1. Why would we ever play this card over a card like Captain John? And yes, I understand it's a 2K counter, not Captain John. I understand that Hildon, or Hildon, however you say his name, I understand he's a 2K counter, but we already have some unbelievably good 2K counters in Perona. So maybe like in a Gecko Moria deck, you'd want to run this. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest, because you're swinging for 3. You're using 3 Dawn to play this card out, okay, when he just costs 3 Dawn, and you could just do the effect normally. I don't know. Maybe it's better because if you use the Gecko Moria plus this, you'll fill up 4 cards in your trash or something. I don't know, guys. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. I'm just a little underwhelmed by this card. I'm actually pretty underwhelmed by this card. But other than that, guys, the cards I said we need to kind of keep an eye on was Electrical Luna. This card has potential, but we might just not have enough room for it in the deck. And the other one, of course, was Doflamingo. I think this card is just incredible. I'm going to be honest, I think there's even an argument, since we have so much searchability in this deck and like we can get through the deck so quickly, maybe we do go down to like -1 Gecko, maybe -1 Samurai, and go up 2 Doffys. I think there's an idea here. I'm not saying we should, I'm just saying it's an option, right? This is one possible option here. But other than that, guys, the deck ran pretty well. I don't know what else to say. The deck ran pretty well. It needs more testing. Not saying it's done yet. But yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. One more thing I do want to at least mention, because I just thought about this, is Terrarin is a cool idea in this list as well. I like that it's a 2-cost 3K that fills up my trash, because sometimes I just want to pull out a 2-cost 3K with Thriller Bark. Inupe is the perfect target, and Kumasi is obviously a very good target. But, you know, whereas Terrarin, he's kind of the best of both worlds, where he just, I guess not. I guess Inupe is actually the best of both worlds, where it's a 2-cost 3K with a 1K counter, draw 2, trash 2. But Terrarin is still very, very strong, because we could just fill up the trash in very effective ways. With this card, and then if they KO it, okay, we filled up more. But again, I'd rather fix my hand a little bit with the Inupe, and then if I'm going for just like the biggest target I can get out of the trash with a 2-cost, it is of course this card. The Kumasi says Dawn ×2, your turn. For every 5 cards in your trash, this character gets plus 1,000 power. This card gets very big very quickly, right? It gets, well, I should say it gets pretty big very quickly. I do wish they had a 2-cost 4K vanilla. They have a 4-cost 6K vanilla. This is actually a very solid card. And same with this one. Perona actually has this one. 4-cost 6K is better for the Gecko Moria. But now I don't even know if we need this card, because we have access to the Ryuma that came out in EB0. Excuse me, in OP10. But I wish there was a 2-cost 4K just straight vanilla card. But then again, looking at the list, I don't know if we'd run it over Kumasi, so maybe that wouldn't have mattered anyway. So there you go. All right, I'm done. I'm done yapping. I'm just making no sense at this point, right, guys? This is the direction of the list. Let me remove the Doflamingos, guys, because I actually do want to put in Samurai. And what was the other card I took out for it? Guys, I forgot already. Maybe it was a Gecko Moria, of course. Let's go ahead and bring that back right away. Gecko Moria is just solid. It's just a high value card, guys. There's really not many downsides to the card. And this leader was built around the idea of this Gecko Moria, or vice versa. This character was built around the idea of this leader. And being able to pull back a Ryuma and a Captain John, that is massive, right? Or even just comboing with an Ice Age, we can do so much. Because Ice Age, oh, they have a 9-cost target on the board. No problem. Ice Age, if we have a 9 Dawn or more, we can go Ice Age your 9-cost, dropping him down to 4, tap him down with a leader effect, play out the Gecko Moria, playing out a Ryuma and a Searcher Perona or an Inupe, and just fix whatever we need to in our hand. Seems good. Really good stuff. Very fun. All right, that's it, guys. Now I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Please tell me what you think about this in the comment section below, guys. I do think it has some potential, but it needs a little bit of work. All right, thank you to everybody who supports the channel, guys, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing to help out the channel. Really appreciate you. Big shout out to all the VP Pirates playmat supporters over here on the screen, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying your playmats. Big shout out to all the members on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel in that way. And then, of course, to the patrons, the VP Pirates patron page here, people on Patreon, people just donating through PayPal. These are people who are just trying to keep the dream alive, trying to keep the channel running, and trying to keep me afloat. All right. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, guys. Peace.